Mr. Lima, do you agree with Mr. Adeshobi? Apart from assessing, we are charting a way forward. This country belongs to all of us. We want this country to be great. And if the government says it wants to fight corruption, do you think they're going at that in the right way and the best strategies available?
You see, Mr. Adeshobi has rightly mentioned where the challenge is at the moment, which is in the judiciary. So there has to be another rethink as to see how you can bring in the judiciary in such a manner that you can have expedited cases, being the conviction cases in this case. If you look at the number of cases that the presidency or the APC government has brought, it's unprecedented. That has to be given to them. For the first time, you've seen, the military establishment fighting. I mean, anti-corruption cases going as deep as into the military establishment. It has never happened. You are talking about a situation where the Senate president himself is still answering questions. You have seen a situation where the executive arm of the government, the secretary of the government of the federation, who was a very close friend to Mr. President himself, being suspended on allegations of corruption and all that. So the real question Nigerians must ask is, what is the judiciary doing in helping? Because you have this suppression of power, and there's no way the executive can bulge in and say, look, you must do this. I think it's within the realm of the Nigerian population to put a lot of pressure, the NGOs, the civil society group, the media, to put a lot of pressure on the judiciary to really live up to its expectations.
Let's go to Prof, who belongs in that regard. Yes, we've seen some level of war waged on the judiciary. If I say war, I'm saying that the anti-corruption war.
Exactly.
In that sense, there were sting operations by the DSS. Some people say, why the DSS? Some people say that there's some illegalities involved in some of the actions in this war of corruption. Do you think that the strategies of this government is right? If you say, this is my major agenda, you should have a master plan in which you're going to carry out. Do you think they had a very solid and concrete plan and strategy on the way to fight corruption?
Well, I think you have to give some credit to this administration on the part when they started, particularly in doing some institutional, framework. You remember before they came in, there was the plan for TSA. And then this TSA thing, immediately when it went into operation, we saw a lot of money, slush money as it were, now being exposed. Then following from there, there was the Professor Sage committee that came up with strategy for purposes of dealing with the legal bottlenecks. Because you have to know that for there to be a conviction, there must be proper investigation. And when it comes to anti-corruption, it's not very easy to investigate those people involved. So in most cases, the ones that you find easy is where you have like plea bargaining, like we had in time past. And then these plea bargaining too were being abused. So we had to move away from the plea bargaining to prosecution. And for prosecution, there must be proper investigation. It is only on the basis of evidential burden, when it is carried beyond reasonable doubt, that it can be a conviction. So putting that blame at the doorstep of the judiciary is a bit unfair, because there is the criminal justice administration. There are, creation of offenses under the criminal code and the anti-corruption laws, which are known to ICPC and EFCC. So basically, the burden is on those ones to be able to guide the sting operation and all the other things they are doing to meet the burden of proof to convict. If the burden of proof is not met, then the judiciary will,
It comes to the issue of proper planning of the prosecution.
But there's also the aspect of corruption in the judiciary.
Do you agree that you have corrupt judges?
Well, basically, when they had the sting, there was a lot of money in the houses of people that cannot be explained. How do you have millions sitting in your bathroom? Give me a break. I mean, that portends corruption. That you have, as a civil servant, you have an income that is fixed, and you are building structures that does not explain. You are not a manufacturer. You have not won lottery or inherited money from somebody. There must be corruption involved in that. But How do you prove that?
Prove that, exactly.
If you go to the website of EFCC, which I've done, there are a lot of cases that are under investigation. There are a lot of cases they've taken to court in proof of the campaign. And if you don't get conviction, and in recent times we have reversals of convictions by courts. So we suggest that the courts, it's not as if the courts giving those decisions are corrupt, but they are giving those decisions based on the law.
Okay. Let me, because we're talking about law now, let me quickly go to Mr. Adesina. There are concerns in several quarters right now. We see the case of El Zazaki. We see the case of former NSA Dasuki. The court has given judgment, ruling that these people should be given bail. But over and over again, the agencies of government under this administration will not yield to those court rulings. And one will wonder, is a government that is supporting the legality or what, Mr. Adesina? Or what explanation would you have to when a court says, allow this man go on bail, and yet he's not going to be released?
Well, a question that should go to the Attorney General, who is the Chief Law Officer of the Federation, is what you are asking me to answer. The Attorney General has spoken on these matters before, and I think we should stay with what he has said. Those are issues before the court, and I'd rather that we stay with what the Attorney General has said, that there are still issues that have been looked at.
Okay. We will talk more about that. We see have security, the economy, because the impression some people are having with your government, Mr. Adesina, is that your government is intolerant and is consistently disobeying court orders. But we will have you answer some more on these. We'll take a break, and when we return, the discussion continues. Funny how time flies, isn't it? But we dig more after now. Benefit.